Hello lovely people and welcome to a highly requested easy vintage hairstyles video. This video is sponsored by Hairstyles, featuring some of my absolute must-have Hairstyles hair products. I will be linking almost everything I use down in the description below, unless it is a vintage item, in which case I will let you know. Now, vintage hair is my thing. For those of you who don't know, this is not at all how my hair grows from my head. My hair is completely straight, dead straight. Straight as a ruler, straight as a Roman road, straight as attempts to think of straight things. Not my sexuality, but through a combination of sponge rollers, a small amount of water and some Kerastase hair mousse, and also sleeping on them overnight, this is what we get. So if you'd like to know how to curl your hair like this, you can in the card up here. However, the 5 hairstyles that I'll be showing you today can be done on either curled hair or straight hair. And they are all perfect for start of term looks. Whether you're heading back to school yourself, whether your university term is starting, whether you are a mum on the go who needs a quick look in the morning because you like to look nice on the school run, okay? You don't want to just be turning up looking haggard, which is sometimes how I feel when I get up in the morning and see my face in the mirror. Haggard. Also, does anyone else find that they dress their child impeccably, always looks amazing, always looks lovely, and then you don't always look as good as your child? Why does he get to look so good? Number 1. Make it all about the scarf with a front fringe roll. This look is probably my easiest go-to look in the mornings to add a touch of vintage style to any outfit. It makes you feel fancy, even when you just rolled out of bed 5 minutes earlier and you're already late and eating breakfast whilst also trying to get dressed. It works with straight hair as well as curled, but if your hair is naturally very, very straight, then I would advise sleeping with just a single roller in the front, which is what I do when I am too tired to curl my whole head. Bring out your trusty Kerastase Lac Couture hairspray for a long-lasting hold that will set without stiffness. Genuinely excellent anti-humidity effect, by the way. Moisture and curls are not friends. We're rolling in the front of our hair to create a little pin curl at the front, securing with one pin at the bottom of the curl and hiding the other pin under the overlying hair. Really trying to hide your pins. I use matte pins so they don't shine and catch the light. I highly recommend searching for those over anything else. They may also be called blending hair grips. Then we grab our lovely silky scarf. For this particular look, we need quite a small scarf and something thin, as we'll be tying it under our hair as a headband and it flops down. I'll link to a couple of options in a pinned comment below. And you can also find them on my Amazon storefront. Number 2, the world's easiest fancy bun. Okay, I completely set myself up by calling this the world's easiest fancy bun, but you'll see what I mean soon. This really is quite a neat way to put your hair up once you've learnt the trick, and it's actually good for your hair because it lessens breakages. Start by sectioning off a front part, this will be your fringe. Then we're going to put the rest of our hair up, and I do this by separating my hair and doing it in sections. Yes, every time I put my hair up, I do it in sections. Why? Because that way I make sure I'm actually getting all of my hair lying flat from the roots. Brush through, twist your hair around and back on itself, and this is the important part, using just a regular hairpin, pin at the front, the back and the sides until you feel secure, leaving the ends of your hair at the back, because we will then be bringing them around and use for decoration. Why do I call this an easy bun? Because once you've mastered it, you can get all of your hair out of your face quickly, efficiently, and it only takes 4 hairpins, 3 if your hair is shorter than mine. For our front section, we're again making a curl, but really just following wherever the hair takes me. Now, what to decorate with? A huge flower? Maybe. Put it at the front for a statement piece, but at the back is where I'd really decorate this bun. Same with this very pretty bow clip. Hot tip, add a hair grip underneath so it doesn't slide down. Hair flowers! These have grips for your hair or pins for your clothes, so they are wonderfully versatile. Again, check my Amazon storefront for these. Number 3, side twists. This look really is all about the hair, so make sure you've got some gorgeous hair oil on there as well if you need it, to give your hair a little bit of shine. This look I think works great whether you have straight hair or curly hair and adds a little vintage touch. If you have straight hair and it doesn't hold pins particularly well, I would advise spraying in maybe a little bit of Kerastase Fresh Affair, their dry hair shampoo. It just will add a tiny bit of texture to your hair and really helps. I mean, it's also great if you haven't washed your hair, so. If you've ever done a French braid, this is essentially the same thing. You're picking up small parts of your hair one after another, but in this case, twisting rather than plaiting. Secure at the back with a grip and one at the front. Do the same on the other side. As you can see, I have a side parting, and this look is particularly cute with a center parting, so it can work for both. I like to put some pretty matching grips on over the top of the plain ones to really match my outfit. So the hairstyles I'm showing you today are my kind of quick, I can do this in the morning ones. They aren't the elaborate, I'm going to spend 5 hours pin curling a poodle looks that I might do for a wedding. That's a hairstyle I don't pin curl my dog. She would not sit still that long. As such, the most key feature is your hair. And what is my number 1 revolutionary tip for gorgeous hair? Find hair products designed for your specific hair type. And thankfully Kerastase, my favourite hair care brand, have a huge range of products for different hair and different hair problems that I cannot help but shout about. Welcome to the advert. Now, I love vintage waves, obviously. I'm dyeing my hair. This isn't my natural colour. But it absolutely is not great for my deeply thirsty wannabe hair. But also, if I don't dye my hair, then it's not porous enough to hold a curl at all. So we all make choices. I mean, genuinely, as a child, I couldn't even make a hairpin stay in my hair. It just fell out. In particular, the chroma gloss, which is an absolutely essential part of my hair care routine. If I miss that step, then my hair just isn't soft and shiny. So this is a resurfacing high shine rinse treatment that kind of starts as a fluid and then it becomes a cream the more you rub it. It penetrates deep into your hair and it hydrates and it strengthens it and it also seals cuticles. So I had to use Hotel shampoo and conditioner 2 weeks ago and I could feel the crispiness of my hair and I'm sorry, my love. I will never again rush to pack and leave you at home. I am not the only one in my household to have had my hair life transformed by a Kerastase product though. So my wife Claudia has a mix of different hair types like 2B, 2C, 3A, wavy on the top, loose curls in the middle and springy ringlets underneath. And it is so important for her hair to have the right type of shampoo and conditioner. Anything that tries to add moisture in the wrong way makes her hair just like puffy and full of body. I mean, I wish I had her natural body, but the Kerastase Elixir Ultime is just the thing for her. Okay, she only washes her hair every 8 to 9 days, but she puts a couple of pumps of this on every morning to feed her thirsty hair, and somehow her hair just looks better and better as the week goes on. It is not fair. Interestingly, in a mark of just how different hair types can be, I can only put 2 pumps of this on my wet hair, and then at some later point, 2 mini pumps on my dry hair if needed, but if I dare do any more than that, it is done. But what if you don't know your hair type? Well, not to worry, friend. Kerastase have got you covered there too with their handy online Diagnose Your Hair quiz. So whether you are struggling with excessive hair fall, that's the Genesis range. Your hair is too oily to handle, that's the Devolent Balancing Shampoo. It's just a whole range that works for you. Click the link in my description to take the quiz for yourself and see which Kerastase range is going to transform your hair. Also dry shampoo. Have we talked about dry shampoo enough? Because absolutely dry shampoo. Dry shampoo for all. You have dry shampoo. You have dry shampoo. You have dry shampoo. Everyone have dry shampoo. Number 4, scarf updo. Really hides those roots. Whoop, let's get our silk scarf and section off the front part of our hair. Pull your hair up and try not to knock out your hearing aid. My favourite option for tying your hair up in a way that doesn't damage it and is more versatile than pins is the spiral herring. Does it get all pulled out if you also wear it as a bracelet? Yes, no judgment. Pull your hair into a ponytail and then on the final pull, don't allow your hair to come all the way through, but instead trap it into a lovely bushy bun. Delightful. Now, let's get on to the main event, the scarf that covers a multitude of sins. Have you not washed it in a while? Do you desperately need to get your roots done? Did you sleep on this hair and now you're just putting a scarf on top of it to make it look fresh? Unrelatable. I know. Definitely not something I've ever done. I have a full video on vintage scarves, which you can click the card in the corner to watch, but this is a pretty simple tie. You can leave the ends long or give it a little bow like this. And that is because I'm going to show you a fancy fringe, optional if you don't have the time. A tiny bit of back combing, roll your hair underneath and pin, yay! And number 5, everything looks better with a bow on it. No, seriously, everything does look better with a bow on it. Even my toddler loves bow ties. This is probably the most complex of the 5 and thus why it's the last of the video. Take a central section of your hair, section that in half, back comb the section at your crown and pin down. Grab a section either side and do the same. Use hairspray liberally. How many times can I say section? I know. Don't worry about perfection, it's going to get covered anyway. Take that front part and pin down to the bottom of your boosted section. Then decide if you want to put a bow in your hair, or a tiny bow, or forget that you named this hairstyle Everything's Better with a Bow and put a flower on it instead. Thank you, Jessica, because you're already wearing a crossover tie, which is remarkably like a bow because I really like bows and I wear them every day. The ends of this hair will fall over your back comb section, and there we have it. I love this look for being a little glam in the mornings.